Good morning. I just had uh, my time with God, and I'm getting ready to start my day. Um, I wanted to come on and talk a little about my morning and something that I'm starting for myself. It's called Journey Back to Me, and it involves me writing in a well, I know people writing in journals about their time with God, and I know there's something out there called prayer journals, and I started that as well. I have books that I already have where I can have devotion, where I can do devotions with what I'm studying and what I'm learning, and to get me back closer to God because for years I have been disconnected from Him. And I have realized that the journey of my life has been one of dysfunction or chaos or just me not functioning in a level of higher purpose for a reason. And that reason is being that I have um, exalted myself instead of exalting the God in me. So I am on a journey back to my original self, not the self that was made by my circumstances or made by my experience from being married or from working a job as a 911 operator that could be chaotic and cause a lot of havoc in your body and cause dis-ease. And the atmosphere of a 911 operator is very like it's not for everybody. I was good at it, but in my capacity to be a good operator, I was good at it, but I got injured in a car accident, so I could not do that job anymore. So now I do more of an administrative type of work. But I'm on here to speak about the journey back to me and what I'm getting ready to do in my life. I'm going to be videoing myself through my journeys, and I'm going to put it on my page because it is my journey back to the original self, meaning the original way God built me, or I'm sorry, excuse me, the original way God created me, not to be made by my circumstances, because that's what I became, a person that's made from circumstances. And I was at one time created a platform called Bitter and Broken No More. And it was from the circumstances that I had, of who I became because of my circumstances. I became that bitter, broken, bound woman. So now I'm on a journey back to the original built of how God built me, not as a bitter, broken, and bounded or bound woman, but as a seed planter where I am allowing God to uh, speak through me. I am allowing my life to be one of that God creates through me. God created us in His image, therefore we are producers, we are creators. So we have the ability to recreate the life that is for His purpose. Yes, I have a job, but there is also a purpose that I am here on earth to fulfill. I have to work in my assignment now, and my assignment now is to be a seed planter. So if I'm a seed planter and I'm allowing God to produce and plant seeds through me, then the people that I speak to constantly, where I'm giving wisdom to, where I am giving a different perspective to, I have helped and given advice to people. And sometimes I have felt that the advice went in vain, or sometimes I have felt that they did not honor the advice or value the advice. And so it kind of stopped me from giving advice. But now that I realize that I don't give advice, or I don't speak to someone to show them a different perspective for myself. That is not who it's for. It's God working through me for them. Because the people that I have spoken to in the past, I've given messages to them that helps them in their lives. And at the same time, when I look at some of the things that I've said to people, I ask myself, I'm like, well, I need to hear that right now. Why can't I hear that? It's almost like I want to be, I want to be that person speaking to me. I want me to speak to me, is what I'm saying. Like what I say to people sometimes, it is so deep. It is so wrenching. It corrects them for that moment. Or I realize that some of the things that I say to speak people, or how I speak to people, is either gonna make them shout or make them pout. Okay? So that's my perspective on that now. I'm not going to feel a certain way anymore about what I'm saying or the message that I'm giving to someone, because I know now that it's God speaking through me. And I now, when I speak to someone, I'm going to make sure I say inside myself, God, make sure you make me small so that you can be exalted in this conversation, so that I won't come off as judgmental, as criticizing, as a person whose tone is off. Keep me humbled while you speak through me for this person to get the message. Okay, so that's my journey back to self. I'm on that journey back to self. Okay, and what I want to do now is create videos for myself so I can go back and be reminded of what was said and what I did for that day. So this morning, I was led on a journey. That journey was remembering some painful experiences from my marriage. And what I remembered in that at that moment in my marriage was the feeling of the person telling me that they are responsible for my lifestyle. So I found myself looking for validation. No, I'm sorry. I found myself validating, looking for validation in myself so that I can release that thought pattern from that person. Because even though we tell ourselves that other people's opinions of us don't matter, it may not matter because you're saying to yourself right now, but it matters. It comes back and it's in your psyche. And it can play on your psyche, and it can make you dwell on those thoughts. And if you dwell on those thoughts, it gets you in a lower vibration of yourself, and you start believing what that person said. And that's where I was this morning. So as I'm journaling through my thoughts, well, I didn't write it down, but I'm good with getting on my computer and typing out my thoughts. It's like the same thing, because it gave me the same feeling of peace and joy and happiness, because it reminded me, as I'm typing and as the thoughts coming out, it's reminding me, I'm soothing myself as I'm typing these words from the past that this person said about me. I'm reminded of, as a woman, I'm a helpmate, but I'm a helpmate to that man that has something that he needs help with, which means he's working in his God-given purpose. And so I am the woman for him because he's working in his purpose, and I'm the woman for him to help him work in that purpose. But if I'm with someone and I'm married to someone where he doesn't have a purpose, then it's going to be, the relationship is going to be dysfunctional, or the relationship can have the potential to be frustrating and miserable for that couple, because the woman can't do what she's there to do, which is to nurture and to help bring, help you build the foundation that you've already started. I can't come into your life, or you shouldn't accept me. You shouldn't be seeking me in your life for me to do nothing. A woman has to do something. She's created by God to be a helpmate. So she has to do something. That's why we're always caring for someone. That's why we're always taking care of someone. We are natural born nurturers. We have to nurture someone. We have to take care of someone. So when you are in a relationship and you get married, that husband has to have something that he's working towards, a plan of action, a purpose that he's working for, that is godly divine, for you as a godly woman to help him pursue. You're there to help him pursue it. And you get your gift, you get your happiness, you get your joy, you get your love from helping. It doesn't matter if you are a single woman and you got your business together and you make your own money and you drive your own car, you take care of yourself on your own and you tell yourself you don't need a man. That's not true, because you're going to stay unhappy. You're going to stay miserable. You may not say it to no one else, but you're not going to feel the joy and the happiness for a long time, because you look at the things around you that fulfills that void, and you think that the things around you is going to make and keep you happy. But a woman is a nurturer. She has to be caring for someone else. She has to be taking care of someone else, not herself. Yes, self-care is important. But what I'm saying is, when you are working through the God in you, you are built to be a helpmate. So you out there you help people. You help, like with me, I'm not married anymore. I don't have a husband anymore. So I totally belong to God, in my opinion. So now I'm on assignment from him to be a helpmate to others that are attracted or attached to me through my spirit, connecting them to me so that I can give them the message that I have for them. Everybody is not connected. Everybody is not for me. Everybody is not for my message. I don't have a message for everybody. But people that listen and the message is for them, it's going to penetrate inside of them what I'm saying. They're going to get what I'm saying. They're going to take what I'm saying and they're going to do something with it. It's going to be something that I said that's going to get them up off their sofa at home that they have been sitting on for 12 years, watching reality TV, watching somebody else live their purpose. And here they are still not living their purpose, not happy, still living the same life that they were living that they're not happy with. And they don't understand why. This is the reason why, because you have not been able to fulfill your purpose. Your purpose is to help someone. And if you're not married, if a husband have not found his good thing in you, then your purpose is to be that good thing for God and work in your assignment, work in your purpose. It's not about you having a job or a career, or you got your business where you're selling stuff. What is your purpose for God? You have to know what your purpose is for God. That is where your joy comes from. That is where your happiness comes from. Okay. That is where the love comes from. That is when you feel that warmth inside that you've done something, that you were productive, that you were a creator of that day, like God created for the 6 days, and he rested on the seventh. If you're not creating anything in your days just going by, you're not creating anything, you're not being a helpmate to anyone, or to serving a purpose to somewhere where you need to be speaking a word and to uplift someone, motivate someone. That's what our purpose here on earth is right now. If you're not married to a husband, to help with his duties, help him help him in his purpose, help him to fulfill his purpose to God. That's your purpose, to help him fulfill his purpose for God. But if that husband haven't found his good thing in you, okay, your purpose right now is to be on assignment for God. You should not be filled with bitterness. You should not be filled with brokenness. You should not be filled with the feelings of being bound. If you're filled with all of those things, it's because you have not found your purpose. So you are malfunctioning. That's how I was. I even malfunctioned in the marriage because my husband didn't have a purpose for me to help him with. So the marriage was broken down. We just went to work to make a living. But because he didn't have a purpose, I didn't have nothing to help him with. So I tried to create my own purpose by creating these, by just working, and I'll do a little something on the side too. It wasn't the t-shirts at first. It was like other stuff that I was trying to do because I wanted to be an entrepreneur so bad. And I knew that I loved speaking to women. But I would get mad because some of the women that I was speaking to, I didn't feel like they was really taking my word of value as value. They wasn't really taking my word as of taking it for what it can help them with in their lives. So I would become upset and I would start speaking to people. And God said, that's not what I created you for. I created you to be that uplifting spirit for some women or men, but the ones that don't accept you, so what? Keep going. That's who I made you to be. That's who you're going to be. And don't you let nobody take that away from you. Okay. You was made in God's image. Okay. And I'm sorry, yes, you was made in God's image. And you can't allow the circumstances from your past of what somebody told you that who you were, called you names to tell you, to try to belittle you or try to make you feel smaller than you are. You have to look at who you are in God's. What is God's purpose for your life? I didn't mean for this video to be this long. I was just trying to deal with or talk through some points that I had to talk myself through while I was writing this morning for my prayer time with God. So a lot of people don't know that I'm a woman of God. They don't know that. They don't know that part of me. But just because they don't know, don't mean they're going to take it away from me. My experience with God is my experience with God. Nobody can take that away from me. I may not go to church as much as other people have. I may not have read my Bible as other people may have. But I know who God is in me because of my experiences and what he's been and done in my life. And I don't apologize for that to no one. But what I am going to tell you that on my platform from now on, this is what you're going to see. Me speaking about my journey back to self, my journey back to my original self of how God created me. Okay. And that's how I have to be to get through the demon thoughts of thinking low of myself because of where I've been and what I've been through. Okay, so the low thoughts come sometimes, and then you have to bring yourself back up to because you know who you are. A lot of women have had broken hearts, have been treated badly by men, but also been treated badly by a childhood. A lot of men have been treated badly by women or had a bad childhood. So anybody can jump on here and say to themselves, look, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of being angry all the time. I'm tired of this one person that I had an issue with, that I was in a relationship with, can come and say one thing to me or just show up. And the feelings of discontentment or the feelings of frustration shows up because of the person, and you start to think about how you were in a relationship with them. So you have to reshape yourself. You have to talk to yourself to get you back on your higher alignment and stop dropping back to the low alignment, because the low alignment of myself will have me cursing him out, having a pit bull personality where I tell him where to step off, how to step off, how high to go, arena from A to Z. But after I do all that, the spirit is off for the rest of the day. So why would I create that in me? Okay, so that's why it's called reshaping. I have to reshape myself, because when I reshape myself, I have to readjust my thought pattern. Look at what I'm thinking in that moment that got my body so hot and the cortisone rushing through my blood because I'm upset now because of what I'm saying or what I'm thinking about that person. And that's how you allow a person to come and steal your joy, steal your happiness, steal your moment. And that's what has happened to me in the past. He's like, I'm on a journey, and then I see myself as a positive person, a person that's constantly in a good mood and like to talk and laugh and have fun. And then when this person come around, or when I have been in the presence of this person, the mood changes for me. So I had to realize that was happening. And when I realized that was happening, that's when I said to myself, I got to reshape me. I got to get me back to my original self, where his presence or hearing his voice don't shift me like that anymore, playing me like a puppet, because that's what was happening. And I didn't learn all about a purpose of a husband and the purpose of a wife until after I was divorced. But in the relationship, being the person that I was already that helpmate type of person. It was just it was just who I was as a person, but he didn't realize who I was. His abilities for him to be in a situation where he can create a certain lifestyle for himself clouded his judgment, in my opinion. And he didn't know the gift of a wife at the time. Okay, so because he didn't know the gift of a wife, and he didn't know the purpose that I was in his life for, he messed it up. He thought that he had to work all the time and not spend any time with the wife. He wanted to just work because he felt that he had to create this life atmosphere for her. Whereas that's not who I was as a person. I required time. And the time that I required was to get together to plan things that we can do as a couple. And that's what was missing in our life. We never got to do that. So because he worked so much, and because I didn't have anything to help him with, I started doing my own thing. And when I started doing my own thing, it separated us because I became very selfish now. Now I don't want your time. Now I don't want you around me now because you wasn't doing it before. So I went into a defense mechanism and I started doing my own thing. So we started living separately. And I don't mean living at the house separate. I mean, emotionally we were separately, spiritually we were separately, mentally we were separately. So the only thing that's left is a divorce, because you're already separated mentally, physically, and spiritually. So you're just, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So the last thing to do was to be separated physically. But all of the healing had to take place, and the healing didn't take place. What was happening was we were just dealing with each other. We were just dealing with each other's anger in ways that we were dealing with, like arguing with each other, yelling matches with each other, calling each other out their names, belittling each other. So like I said, he had me, when I was married to him, he had me in a state of always defending myself. So he always got Jackie Red, the one that was the pit bull, always yelling, fussing, know how to shut somebody up if need be with words. I'm not talking about physical. I would shut you up with some words. I would cut you like you can never be cut with some words. But I'm not proud of who that person is. I'm not proud of her. I realize who I am as a person, and that I'm in control of her. I'm not in control of him. Okay? But in order for me to have the right control, I had to let God take control and let me be made small. So anyway, that's the journey I'm on now. Making me be small and let God exalt through me. That's where I am now. So I hope you got a message from this. I hope this helps someone. But this is my journey back to self for Jackie Daniels. Okay. So I'm just speaking. You can hear the whole message if you want to. You could comment on my message. You could like my message. You could share my message. But this is the journey back to me. This is my challenge for myself. I'm going to be speaking life into myself. Okay. And I'm going to let God help me with that. But I have to allow him to do it, which means I have to make myself available spiritually, emotionally, and mentally for him to do that in my life. So that means that I have to become small so that he can enlarge in me. So he can be the one to speak through me and not me. So that means my pride got to go down. I got to humble myself. That's what that means for me. So anyway, I was in Genesis this morning about in the beginning, God made the heaven and the earth. And that's where I got into the created and the made and the form and all of those three words and how they intertwine together. And I related it back to my life. And that's where I said that I had to get back to my original creation of who God created me to be, not who I was made to be because of this marriage. Because the marriage, after the marriage, I became this bitter, broken, burden, not even broken, I'm sorry, this bitter, bound woman. And I couldn't like I couldn't unattach from it. It just kept following me everywhere I go. So now I realize what's going on. I'm separated. I'm divorced from the man, but the thoughts and the mental and the spiritual connection still there. The emotional connection still there. The mental connection still there. So it's like now I got to disconnect from the drama. I got to disconnect from the chaos, and has nothing really to do with him. It has everything to do with me and me disciplining myself and me learning to control myself. So that's the journey that I'm on now. That's why I'm on a journey back to God, because only God can help me with that. I need his help. So I'm asking him to be that willing participant in my life, because God is free will. You got to ask for his help. He's not going to come and just bombard you or come and just control your life. You got to ask. Okay? Then it is given. You got to knock. Then that door is open. You got to seek God. And that's when you will find him and find yourself. Okay? It is the Conquered Me Queen. And I'm out. Bye.